the fruit built to withstand everything. They break it open with a hammer, not because it's dangerous, but because it's stubborn. A fruit so hard it sounds like wood when it hits the ground. Inside, instead of crisp flesh or dripping juice, there's a dark, sticky pulp that smells sharp, sweet, and fermented all at once. Most people outside South Asia have never tasted it. Many have never even heard of it. And yet, for thousands of years, this fruit has fed villages, treated illness, survived droughts, and quietly outlasted empires. Today, you're going to learn what wood apple really is, why it was once indispensable, and how a fruit this powerful almost disappeared from modern awareness. If you enjoy uncovering forgotten foods and the stories behind them, make sure to subscribe now, because this channel is all about rediscovering what we've overlooked. What wood apple actually is. Wood apple is not an apple. It's not related to apples in any botanical sense. Its real name is Aegle marmelos, also known as baelfruit. It grows on a slow, thorny tree, native to the Indian subcontinent and parts of Southeast Asia. The tree doesn't rush. It doesn't need rich soil or constant water. It thrives in heat, survives droughts, and grows where many modern crops fail. That alone made it valuable long before anyone analyzed its nutrition. The fruit itself looks uninviting. Rough, gray-green, often cracked and scarred, about the size of a grapefruit. Its shell is so hard it was once used as a container. Inside is a dense, orange-brown pulp filled with fibrous strands and seeds. It doesn't beg to be eaten. You have to know what you're doing. And for centuries, people did. A sacred tree with a practical purpose. Wood apple appears in some of the oldest medical texts in human history. In Ayurveda, it's not just food, it's medicine, ritual, and symbol. The bael tree is sacred in Hindu tradition, associated with Lord Shiva. Its leaves are offered in temples. Its fruit is consumed not casually, but intentionally, often during seasonal transitions when the body is most vulnerable. That should already tell you something. Cultures don't ritualize useless plants. Nutrition built for survival, not convenience. Nutritionally, wood apple is dense in a way modern fruit rarely is. It contains complex carbohydrates, fiber, calcium, potassium, iron, and a wide range of phytochemicals that modern diets struggle to replace. But its real strength isn't sweetness or convenience, it's balance. When ripe, the pulp is mildly sweet, tangy, and warming. When unripe, it's bitter and astringent. Traditional medicine uses both stages differently. That alone sets it apart from supermarket fruit bread to taste the same every time. The digestive guardian of entire communities. One of wood apple's most famous roles is digestive health. For thousands of years, it has been used to treat diarrhea, dysentery, and chronic gut disorders. This wasn't superstition. The fruit contains tannins and pectin that slow intestinal movement and help the gut absorb water properly. Unlike many modern remedies, it doesn't shut the system down. It restores rhythm. In regions where waterborne illness was common, wood apple wasn't optional. It was survival. Children drank diluted bael sherbet during hot months to prevent dehydration and gut infections. Travelers carried dried pulp as insurance against unfamiliar food. Entire communities depended on a tree that could protect their digestion when nothing else could. A rare food that knows when to speed up or slow down. But wood apple doesn't just slow things down. When ripe, it does the opposite. It gently stimulates digestion, increases appetite, and supports nutrient absorption. That dual action is rare. Most foods push the body in one direction. Wood apple adapts to context. This is why Ayurvedic texts describe it as deeply regulating. It doesn't overwhelm, it corrects. Cooling the body without weakening it. The fruit is also anti-inflammatory. Compounds in the pulp and leaves have been shown to reduce irritation in the gut lining, respiratory tract, and even joints. Traditionally, wood apple was given during fevers, not to suppress symptoms, but to support recovery. Its cooling effect helped stabilize the body without draining strength. Ancient support for breathing and the lungs. Respiratory health is another overlooked role. Wood apple has long been used for chronic coughs, asthma, and seasonal breathing issues. Syrups made from the pulp were common household remedies. They didn't act like modern bronchodilators. They reduced inflammation and excess mucus, making breathing easier over time. A tree that functions like a pharmacy. The tree itself is a pharmacy. Leaves, bark, roots, and fruit all have distinct uses. Leaf extracts were applied to wounds. Bark decoctions were used for infections. Roots were used sparingly for inflammatory conditions. This wasn't guesswork. These uses persisted because they worked often enough to be trusted. So if wood apple was so useful, why don't we see it everywhere? Why modern agriculture left it behind? The answer is not taste, it's logistics. Wood apple is slow. Trees take years to bear fruit. They don't conform to neat harvest cycles. The fruit doesn't ripen uniformly. It doesn't ship well. You can't squeeze it into plastic clamshells and stack it in refrigerated trucks. Its shell is hard, but the pulp ferments quickly once opened. Modern agriculture doesn't reward resilience. It rewards predictability. How global trade replaced local resilience. As colonial trade expanded, export crops replaced local staples. Mangoes, bananas, sugarcane, tea. Crops that could be standardized, branded, and shipped. Wood apple stayed behind. It fed local populations but didn't generate profit for distant markets. Over time, even local diets shifted. Refined grains replaced fibrous fruits. Bottled tonics replaced traditional drinks. Knowledge passed down orally began to fade. The bael tree remained, but its role diminished. Science quietly confirms what tradition knew. Today, wood apple is often dismissed as a folk remedy or a novelty. In urban areas, it's rarely eaten outside specific festivals or health fads. Many people know it only as a syrup flavor or an Ayurvedic supplement disconnected from the living tree. But science has been quietly catching up. Modern studies confirm many traditional claims. Wood apple shows antimicrobial activity against several pathogens. It exhibits antioxidant properties that protect cells from oxidative stress. Its fiber supports gut microbiota diversity. Its compounds help regulate blood sugar, making it useful for metabolic health. Not a superfood, something better. This is not a miracle cure. It's something better. A stable, multifunctional food that evolved alongside humans in a harsh climate. The tree itself deserves attention. Bael trees are drought-resistant, pest-resistant, and long-lived. They grow in poor soils and require minimal care. In an era of climate instability, this matters. While water-intensive crops struggle, wood apple persists. A tree designed for the future. There's a reason it survived centuries without irrigation systems or fertilizers. It was never fragile. In traditional farming systems, bael trees were planted near homes, along boundaries, or in mixed orchards. They provided shade, fruit, medicine, and religious significance. They weren't monocropped. They were integrated. That integration is what modern systems lost. Why it refused to be simplified. When food becomes a product instead of a relationship, anything that resists standardization gets left behind. Wood apple didn't disappear because it failed. It disappeared because it refused to be simplified. Even its preparation demands patience. You don't bite into a wood apple. You crack it open, scoop the pulp, strain the seeds, mix it with water or milk, sometimes add jaggery or spices. The act itself slows you down. Food that taught timing and restraint. In many cultures, bael sherbet wasn't just a drink. It was a seasonal ritual, marking the transition into extreme heat. Families prepared it together. The body adapted. The mind noticed the change. Compare that to modern hydration. Flavored sugar water consumed year-round with no awareness of season or need. Wood apple taught timing. It also taught restraint. You don't eat it daily, you eat it when the body needs grounding. Overuse was discouraged. Balance mattered more than quantity. The comeback and the risk of missing the point. Today, interest in wood apple is returning, but unevenly. It appears in health blogs, supplement aisles, and boutique cafes, sometimes stripped of context, sometimes reduced to claims of detox or superfood status. That misses the point. Wood apple was never about optimization. It was about resilience. It didn't make you faster or thinner or more productive. It made you stable. It helped you endure heat, illness, and scarcity without collapsing. A quiet answer to a loud world. In a world facing climate stress, digestive disorders, and nutritional depletion, that kind of quiet support is rare. Reintroducing wood apple doesn't require abandoning modern life. It requires remembering that not all valuable foods are convenient. Some ask for effort in exchange for longevity. If you ever encounter a bael tree, look at it closely. Thorny branches, sparse leaves, hard fruit. Nothing about it screams abundance. And yet, inside that shell is a system refined over millennia to keep humans functioning in some of the hardest conditions on Earth. That's not nostalgia, that's design. If this story changed how you think about what counts as food, make sure to subscribe for more educational content like this. There are countless plants like wood apple, still rooted in the margins, waiting for someone to listen again.